Hi guys, welcome back to XCOM 2 Board, the Chosen Core Collection. Let me load it up here. There it is.
His brain is dusty. His BO musty. Last night, Joe gave an extremely rare sit-down interview to CNN. Apparently, they found one of those easy chairs that also has a toilet. But Biden was in for a shock when confronted with the latest stats, reacting like someone put the wrong battery in his pacemaker.
So, when you talk about the economy, of course, it is by far the most important issue for voters. It's also true right now, Mr. President, that voters by a wide margin trust Trump more on the economy. They say that in polls. The cost of buying a home in the United States is double what it was when you look at your monthly costs from before the pandemic. Real income, when you account for inflation, is actually down since you took office. Economic growth last week far short of expectations. Consumer confidence, maybe no surprise, is near a 2-year low. With less than 6 months to go to Election Day, are you worried that you're running out of time to turn around?
There's only 2
Oh. Why the horrified look on your face, sir? It's as if he'd gotten a whiff of his own pants. He also lied about inflation.
No president's had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs and bringing down inflation. It was 9% when I came to office. 9%.
Actually, no, it was only 1.4%.
On your order.
Which, by the way, is also my percentage of body fat. You're welcome. I starved so you could look at me. And of course, there was no real-time fact check from the reporter. Perhaps he was busy holding her breath. But Joe's biggest what-the-hell moment was at a campaign stop in Wisconsin when he said his Catholic school teacher was drafted by the Packers. Watch.
My geology professor at the Catholic school I went to was a guy named Riley, last name. And he had been drafted by the Green Bay Packers. And he decided to become a priest before that, so he didn't go.
There's a lot of things going on there. But I want to know the last name of the guy, Riley. Can I get the last name of Riley?
A guy named Riley, last name. And he had been drafted by the Green Bay Packers. And he decided to become a priest before that, so he didn't go.
You know, perhaps Riley's last name was last name. And the only draft is the air whistling out of Biden's ears. Of course, not only was Joe reading another word he shouldn't have read, the other words were pure. At this point, comparing him to Ron Burgundy is an insult to Ron Burgundy. Everything was pre-scripted, and still Biden ends up everything up. If they scripted Joe, pretty please don't read this, he would recite, Joe, pretty please don't read this. And as for the actual anecdote, I refer back to my big book of Packers knowledge. The only person with the last name Riley to be drafted by the Packers was another dude from Colorado in 1947. Years before Biden was in high school. Speaking of 47, that's the year Joe says he rescued those aliens in Roswell, New Mexico. What's Joe think?
Oh, God, I know your question. I remember every minute of my days back in Catholic school. My teacher, Riley, last name. That was his name, Riley, last name. His first name was Baba O. Teenage Wasteland. I wrote a song about it. Gave it to my friend, Townsend, last name. He was a band called Who. I'm not kidding, that's not a joke. That was called Who. People used to say, what's the band? Who? Who? No, who? It's like that old comedy sketch that I wrote with my partner, Lou Costello.
Heather, I was struck in an interview with Aaron Brand that It seemed like Joe, that was the first time he ever heard that information.
It looks like it.
Yeah, it's like he's been cocooned in a cocoon.
Well, why didn't she correct him? I mean, coming from CNBC and economic background, I mean, the first thing you would say is, no, Mr. President, inflation was not 9% when you came in office. It was 1.4. Two-thirds of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So when you ask, are you worried about this? And he says, no, I turned it around. No, you haven't. Prices are up over 19%. You go to the grocery store, Americans see prices are up. You go to the gas station, Americans can see it. He blames corporate greed.
Yes.
It's not corporate greed. It's Washington's inability to balance the budget. It's not the Snickers bars getting smaller.
Yes, it's his brain. Joe, it is interesting blaming corporate America and also the idea that, well, Americans have more money, so don't worry about inflation. What say you?
Well, you can't just blame yourself because you're trying to win the election. It makes a lot of sense to lie. My only problem is maybe it was one of those Sage Steele type interviews where she wasn't allowed to ask a follow-up question because she'd think if she had the 9% number, she would also have the 1.4% number. But to
Berserker
me,
Queen.
about this is the more Biden talks, the more his life becomes.
Hey, you missed that big fat thing?
Pretty soon it's going to be like, and then I worked on a shrimp boat, and my friend bought stock at Apple Computer, and I could see him just running for a long distance for no reason.
It is amazing. He seems to insert himself into every era with some little weird twist. What do you think he comes up with these stories?
I don't know, but I think that interview really shows that his greatest strength is his weakness. Because it's actually really hard to grill someone and dig into when you look over at them and they're like this.
Yeah.
Thank God for the lost. Keep him busy, motherfucker.
Yeah, sometimes I have to ask a follow-up question because it would have killed him.
It's like, are you okay? It doesn't matter if it's the president you're in or you're just like a dude at a bar. Any situation, someone's making that face. The only one.
Rock and roll. Put a hole through him.
Yes, yeah. No, I think she felt bad. It is like, you wouldn't like get in a debate with your aging grandfather if he says something silly.
I'm saying, he can't keep his eyes open.
Jesus, Jamie, it was that his performance was almost as bad as your marriage.
That's right. That's right.
I know.
It lasted. I wish mine had lasted only that long. This is crazy that that's the president.
I know, isn't it?
It's absolutely great, and I think she might have felt bad, acted like the best thing about being an interviewer, the best thing about interviewing an old guy like Biden is you could ask the most hard-hitting question you want, and he couldn't walk out if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah.
I have to point something out. Friggin' Shalou's Biden is so funny, but some time along as you guys progress, Shalou used to be an exaggerated version of Biden. You'd be like, oh, Biden was crazy, and now it's like Joe Biden is doing an exaggerated version of Tom Shalou.
No, it's true.
It's unbelievable. He's doing a caricature of an old man talking. You can see the thoughts in his head going through a ropes course before they get to his mouth. It's ridiculous, and I think he made a mistake when he said, when I got into office, it was 9%. I think he meant to say, when I got into the office today.
All right. Thank you for applying me going to a tease. Up next, get shit for Gaza for trashing the plaza.
I spend a lot of time thinking about dirt at 3 in the morning. Anytime I get. What people don't know is that not all dirt is the same. You need dirt with the right kind of nutrients. Look at this new organic soil from Miracle Grow.
Everybody should have it. It looks great.
This is as good as gold in any garden. If people only knew that it really is about the dirt.
You're a dirt nerd.
Huge dirt nerd. I'm proud of it.
Blackstone is deserved a better way of cooking. Attention responding, igniting an outdoor cooking revolution, creating better backyard celebrations. You make every breakfast fun lunch and dinner better. For anything, anytime, anywhere. Go to your nearest Blackstone retailer or blackstoneproducts.com now. Make everything better on a Blackstone.
What would you like to pay for your hotel room? $185, $169, or $155? Same room, same service, just different prices. Really up to you. Well, nobody asks you this at reception, but that's exactly what Trivago does. Trivago compares hotel prices from hundreds of booking sites. So, save yourself valuable time and money. Use Trivago. Compare hotel prices and save up to $30 off. Hotel, Trivago.
My name is Giovanni Didio. 40 years ago, we started this world-famous paintball business. I walked anywhere from 5 to 6 miles every single day. To run a business like this, you really need that extra pep in the step. So I came across Fountain Nature. I knew this is the product because it just smelled real. Fountain Nature has fruits and vegetables in the ingredients. With Fountain Nature equals ready.
Get 35% off your first order as a Cooker customer. Call or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FOXNEWS.
For muscle cramps and spasms, TheraWorks absorbs quickly for relief. So get back at it.
TheraWorks works.
For fast muscle relief, TheraWorks works. Try TheraWorks and get back at it.
Life insurance is too important to put off another day. That's why Select Quote makes getting coverage you need easy. Now get up to a $2 million policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage.
Visit selectquote.com now.
At UFOs, we don't make footwear. We make shock absorbers, fatigue fighters, mobility maximizers. This is the science of active recovery. Revolutionary UFO technology absorbs impact and reduces pressure. It's the foundation.
Oh boy.
And the key to recovering faster. This is not a shoe. This is UFO's active recovery. Activate your recovery with UFOs.
The Bible talks about spiritual blindness upon Israel until Jerusalem is in Jewish hands. At that time, the eyes of multitudes of Jewish people were open to see Jesus is the Messiah. And that happened in 1967. But now spiritual blindness is on many Christians, blinding them to God's full revelation of the end-time strategic partnership of Jew and Gentile. What's at stake? The salvation of Israel. What's at stake? The largest revival in history and the return of Jesus. With anti-Jewish violence and sentiment soaring to historic heights worldwide, many that are anti-Semitic are at risk of becoming enemies of God. So, let's Sidroff, a Jewish believer in Jesus, for a free download of my book, The Mystery Law of God. At this pivotal moment in history, go to sidroff.org/mystery.
A story in 5 words. 5 words. Republicans offer protesters Gaza trips. Mackie, this is interesting how Republicans introduced a bill on Wednesday that would send any person charged and convicted for illegal activity on a college campus to Gaza. To serve a community service sentence for at least 6 months. What do you make of this?
Unpopular opinion, Greg. I think this is the worst bill. It's the one you get from your government after you die. Because we live in a country where it's cruel and unusual punishment to execute someone who is bad. And we're supposed to believe for a second that we're going to send people convicted of a crime into a war zone. I think Republicans in the House would be better served by trying to not pass the Democrats' agenda for them. We should have a bill maybe that if they keep doing that, we send Mike Johnson to Gaza.
Wow! Somebody has been hanging out with Marjorie Taylor. All right, cats. Should they get a taste of their own medicine? Why don't they, what's the other analogy? Why don't they walk the walk instead of just talking the talk? That was pretty strong.
Because in this country, we don't send people to war-torn areas of the world for misdemeanors.
But shouldn't we, Pat? Shouldn't we? I ask you, are you some kind of hippie?
If that makes me a hippie, then I suppose so.
Oh, you hippie commies are the same.
But it's just disgusting narrative. We're not going to do this, right? So it is irritating that politicians that we pay spend their time doing this, which is really just, it's purchasing.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I would call it a symbolic gesture
That's what we're saying.
that raises the hypocrisy of the protesters. If you really care, leave the safety net of your coddled college campus. That's 3 C's in a row. Alliteration. Look it up in cats. Jamie, I don't even have an insult for you. Should you send your ex-wife to Gaza?
I think she would argue that'd be better than her time with me.
Do you think this is a waste of time? I mean, Cat's right. It's pointless, even if it has a point.
I totally disagree with these guys. Just speak up for their own line. Is there a way we could pretend till the last second we're sending?
Yes, that's funny.
I don't want to send him either, but can we get him on the plane? Can we almost land and then pull back? Like, because I want to scare him.
That's great. You can solve the problem.
Because I was an idiot in college, and some people are still. And I feel like I don't want to punish someone for something because I did the dumb thing. Like, when I was in college, I swear, for like 20 years, I thought local anesthesia meant that they got it like from around here. I thought they were like, oh, we're supporting the local economy. I just don't know if we should hold them accountable. I remember my ex-wife once, my kid was about to touch a hot stove, and she was like, let him touch it, he'll never do it again. And I was like, you gotta be careful, because like that's true, but I want to stop him ahead of time so he still has like a face with skin.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I think they'll both work. I think the nub would be a reminder.
Yeah.
But I think we scare them, but actually don't send them.
Good. It's interesting, Heather, shouldn't the protesters embrace? Let's say they get you get a year in jail because you destroyed a car, or you get 6 months of community service in Gaza. Give them the choice. Should they embrace the community service in Gaza?
Well, and why not try and provide support to the people, civilians of Gaza, instead of breaking the law and destroying property? There are a bunch of wackos. I have to say, I am not sending my daughter to college. And you know what? They should save the tents when they graduate. They're going to need them.
Coming up, the actor who objects to coordinated scenes of sex.
Imagine a future where plastic is not wasted, but instead remade over and over into the things that keep our food fresher, our families safer, and our planet cleaner. To help us get there, America's plastic makers are investing billions of dollars to create innovative products and new recycling technologies for sustainable change. Because when you push for smarter solutions, big things can happen.
If you have chronic kidney disease, you can reduce the risk of kidney failure with Farxiga, because there are places you plan to be. Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections, and low blood sugar. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, an allergic reaction, or ketoacidosis.
We're here with Chris Cunningham from local leaf filter. So Chris, tell us how leaf filter is different from every other gutter protection on the market.
With leaf filter's patented filter technology, there are no gaps, no openings, no place for debris to get in at all. And we install leaf filter on your existing gutters. It's a permanent solution. You'll never have to climb the ladder and clean out your gutters again.
That's amazing, Chris. Tell me about the process.
Simple and easy. Just give us a call, set up an appointment. We'll come out, give you a free gutter inspection. If they're sagging, we'll repair them. If they're broken, we'll replace them. If they're in good shape, our local team will install leaf filter in as little as a few hours.
Wow, and I understand you guys have a lifetime no clogs guarantee.
We do. It's actually a lifetime transferable no clogs guarantee.
That's peace of mind and then some. So how do people sign up?
To schedule your free inspection, call 833-LEAF FILTER today. Our agents are standing by. Or visit leaffilter.com.
At Omaha Steaks, we do burgers differently. We take a premium aged steak like this and turn it into a pure ground burger like this. So this is actually a ribeye. This is a New York strip, top sirloin, beef brisket, and this is the filet mignon. For a limited time, our Burger Perfection plate comes with 20 big, juicy burgers, all for just $79.99. Get it today at omahasteaks.com/TV. This is Burger Perfection, guaranteed.
One of my favorite supplements is Qunol Turmeric. Turmeric helps with healthy joints and inflammation support, and Qunol has the #1 doctor-recommended form of turmeric. Qunol, the brand I trust.
Welcome to the proving ground.
Toe fungus is tough to kill and it can spread.
It's time to start using Fungi Nail. Maximum strength Fungi Nail is so powerful it cures and prevents fungal infections. Plus, it has aloe and tea tree oil to restore skin health. Say goodbye to toe fungus with Fungi Nail.
Camping was fun, but it looks like we brought the woods back with us.
If you're a mom, then you really need WeatherTech for Mother's Day. It's the ultimate way to kid-proof your vehicle. From laser-measured floor liners for the front and rear, to cargo liner, seat protector, and seat back protectors, we've got moms covered.
Your turn.
Find all these American-made gifts perfect for Mother's Day at WT.com.
When migraine strikes, you're faced with a choice. Ride it out with the trade-offs of treating, or push through the pain and symptoms. With Ubrelvy, there's another option. One dose works fast to eliminate migraine pain. Treated anytime, anywhere, without worrying where you are if it's too late.
Do not take this strong secreted formulas. Allergic reactions to Ubrelvy can happen. Most common side effects are nausea and sleepiness.
Migraine pain relief starts with you. Ask about Ubrelvy. Learn how happy and healthy sleep.
With iron scars, they've all gone away. Now they're showing, says whoa, you have to want something inside you. Ooh, what's that smell? It's a story to tell. It does. Michael Douglas is next. I have a lack of on-screen sex, thanks. Aging actor Douglas recently criticized on-set intimacy coordinators for taking away control from the filmmakers, saying it's all choreographed now. The sex, quote, sex scenes are like fight scenes. It's all choreographed. In my experience, you take responsibility as a man to make sure the woman is comfortable. You talk it through, you say, okay, I'm going to touch you here if that's all right. I did a few of these sexual movies, and we joke about it now, but it would have been like to have an intimacy coordinator working with us. Whatever, dude. Unlike Michael Douglas, some actresses say intimacy coordinators are necessary, especially the ones who keep Michael Douglas from having sex with you. Kat,
Yes?
Nobody likes sex scenes except the pervert that's in it. I bet it was people like Michael Douglas who made the sex scenes happen. Because viewers don't like it, the actresses don't like it, nobody likes it except the little pervert.
Yeah, it's like if you're sitting at home with your parents and it comes, you have to you run out of stuff to look at other than the movie. But also, intimacy coordinator is one of those jobs where if you have an interest in being that, then I don't think you should do it.
Yes, exactly. There's something,
If someone ever told me, I don't care how inappropriate it is, I would give them.
Yeah, okay. To the point, Jamie, the intimacy coordinators are third-party experts with nearly unlimited authority and budget to manage a sex scene. I don't know where you go to school for this, who makes you the expert, but I guess it's probably the least capable person in their office, and they were going to fire them, and they go, okay, Jesse, you do this.
Yeah, I was uncomfortable with a lot of things he said. I don't think sex scenes are like fight scenes unless you're not getting consent.
Yeah. True. That was a very sensitive comment.
I can be very jealous sometimes.
Yeah.
My ex-wife was in the sex scene once, and I was like, I'm so uncomfortable with this. Like, not only because the guy's like so good looking, it's just because there's no cameras, you're not an actress. Poor guy. Yeah. It's hard not to get. It's actually hard. I was in a TV show once.
Yeah.
And the hardest part is not. You have to like make sure you don't get aroused, you know.
Right.
And I always had trouble with that. I never did a sex scene. I was just so excited to be working with girlfriend.
By the way, the love between you two looked totally real. Heather, I can't recall a single sex scene in a movie where I said, more of that, please. Except in Cocoon. But that's for another time. Who wants this stuff?
I don't know. They're calling Michael Douglas the expert, and rightfully so. I mean, he's been in movies with many beautiful women. Fatal Attraction. It wasn't him that needed the instructor, nor was it Sharon Stone. She was like his instructor. I mean, uncross your legs, and she'll show you what to do. Look, if you having an element of an instructor makes you feel better during your acting, then you shouldn't volunteer to be paid for sex scenes. And B, it's not going to look realistic to the viewers if someone's watching. That's weird.
Tell me about it. You know, Joe, as a universal sex symbol, every person who applauded, you have slept with.
Greg, I don't kiss and tell. No one's interested in my kissing stories. But I'll say this, I'm on your side. I hate movie sex scenes. I mean, Brokeback Mountain, ruined a perfectly good Western. That's why I think I would be like a great intimacy coordinator for movies, because whenever I start watching people making out, they stop.
Yeah. By the way, that brings up a really good point. Let's say you are in a real situation and somebody's making out in front of you. It makes you uncomfortable. Why would anybody think that in a movie that would make you feel good watching two people? It's like, I don't need to see that.
I'm not uncomfortable.
Usually in a dream. Up next, a speech goes awry because he got too high.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem-solution one-party company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some I don't even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. Two-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow singles, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new pieces of fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over. Your entire order ships absolutely free.
Number one rated brand, Zappo Power, an Evo Zero Turn Radical, E-Steer technology, drives like a car, turns on a dime, and it cuts up to 2.5 acres on a single charge. Exclusive closed case Eagle authorized dealers.
I've been cooking most of my life. I've just seen my parents cook, so I stuck with some traditions. And I took the ball food because I want to know what's in the food. Balance in nature, it's already incorporated into my diet. I look at other supplements out there, and they don't have what balance in nature is. So I'm taking the initiative to stay on balance in nature. Right?
Get 35% off your first order as a Cooker customer. Go to balanceinature.com and use discount code OXNEW. Only from Simply Save, 24/7 live for protection. Now Simply Save agents to help stop crime in real time. Stop police crime. For instant incident deterrence and faster police response. Now get 40% off the Simply Save system. There's no safe like Simply Save.
You prepare for the unexpected. So do we.
with somebody saying, "I lose everything." I might as well be dead. Told you,
Well, it wasn't red floor when I seen it. I wish they had a mod. They have millions of mods, but I wish they had one for that one.
He wrote his speech while high on the psychedelic drug ayahuasca. You be the judge.
I'd like to get started by moving our energy, getting our energy flowing.
Who knew ayahuasca made you like crappy music? Jamie, is that proof that when you do the things that you like on drugs do not translate when the drugs wear off?
It absolutely does, because I actually enjoyed this because I was blacked out on ayahuasca. It wasn't that bad. That was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Did you see earlier in the speech? He did basically an advertisement for Bitcoin. Yeah. He did like this ad, and I was like, man, you think Ohio State would have enough money to buy commencement speech without ads?
Yeah. No, it's true, because I've been in the middle of, funeral or Heather, the priest said, while we're here, you
You didn't show there's like they did a magic trick behind the podium that no one could see. He said, well, there are 4 quarters back in 1984 is the same purchasing power as 3 quarters today. The guy holds up a sign, a token representative of Bitcoin. Yes. And the whole student body is like, what?
Yeah.
So perplexed. No applause, no nothing.
Yeah.
What's that? An advertising for Bitcoin.
I know, it was crazy, but it was the drugs show. Society.
I'll say this, that was the worst performance on Ohio State's football field since they started 11-0, and then last time we skipped it by 22 points. But the whole point of the inspirational speech and the graduation is stupid. It's like, hey, you're done, and now I'm going to inspire you? They should do that at the beginning and be like, oh, work hard and don't protest dumb.
That doctor's name, he was an entrepreneur and investor. His name is Chris Hann. Yeah.
He didn't only want to say, which is to not give people similar drugs to take before they walk up. Because he would have killed.
Yeah. And by the way, everybody would love that song on drugs, but when you're not on drugs,
all the songs in the world.
Choose not for on walk. What's that song called?
What's up?
He's the only song I know by that.
You can tell you're bombing when you tell them.
It just so happens to have a Reaper on board this mission. Excellent. They Claymore up your ass big time.
This is Steve. Steve takes me west. This is Steve's son. We're going west to take some acid. The acid really damage to the sun is called erosive esophagitis and related to our brain. No question. And only FDA-approved treatment of this kind. 93% of adults were healed by 2 months. Of those healed, 79% stayed healed. And Northwestern provides heartburn-free days and nights. Other serious medical needs may still exist. Don't take a version of Northwestern or our products to comparison unless there may cause serious side effects, including kidney problems, diarrhea, co-fractures, sickness, infections, low vitamin B12 or magnesium levels, and stomach growths. Call your doctor if you have diarrhea, stomach pain, or fever that won't go away. Decreased or bloody urine, seizures, dizziness, irregular heartbeat, jitteriness, muscle aches or weakness, spasms of hands, feet, or voice. Voquezna can help kick some acid, and so can you. Ask your doctor about Voquezna.
Have you noticed more bruising as you age? You're not alone. Now you can help improve the appearance of bruises with Dermed Moisturizing Bruise Formula. Help your bruised skin.
Find Derma moisturizing Bruce formula now in the first 8 minutes. Americans turn to RVing in record numbers as they pursue the spirit of freedom and travel exploration. The RV community is stronger than ever as family and friends seek quality time together. Been a part of the American dream since 1966. Shop over 6,000 RVs for less than $200 a month, only at Camping World. For gentle, dependable constipation relief, try Seneca. It works differently than other laxatives because it's made from the Seneca, a natural vegetable laxative ingredient. Gentle,
You missed?
dependable Seneca. Also available in delicious gummies.
I didn't realize you could miss.
Brother decided pizza because I've switched to consumer cellular. Now I get the same coverage he's got for up to half the cost. I'm the one who wins. Birds that freedom called, we're here to answer. Guys, feeling tired, getting soft, growing old? Wake up and grab Ageless Male Max with a non-prescription ingredient to help boost your total testosterone. Be the man you want to be. Find a great deal for your ideal hotel. Open Chicago, type in where you want to go. Select your check-in and check-out dates and search. Compare prices for the same hotel and save up to $30 a night. Hotel, Trivago.
Life insurance is too important to put off another day. That's why Select Quote makes getting coverage you need easy. Now get up to a $2 million policy with medical exam and same-day coverage.
Visit SelectQuote.com now. Clogged gutters can cause big problems fast. Until now, call 833-LEAF-FILTER today for your free gutter inspection.
I've had terrible flooding problems on my porch. Now I understand why.
Right now, LEAF-FILTER is offering a free inspection on your schedule. LEAF-FILTER is a permanent gutter solution, so you never have to worry about costly damage from clogged gutters again. Call us today and schedule your free inspection. Schedule your free inspection. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER today or visit leaffilter.com.
All these games on Direct TV, and no satellite on the move. Think about this. Blue Jays, Cardinals, Orioles. What's missing? Indian hunter? No walnut grain. Pigeons. I'd rather have a kid in the sock. There's a gaping hole, say legal experts in some of this testimony.
These were the moment the protests are gaping.
Officials tell us they have concerns that many of his plans to use USB weapons in Rocco.
Only on Fox News Channel.
It's 11 p.m. on the East Coast, 3 o'clock here in Los Angeles. This is America's Nation, Fox News at Night.
היום אנחנו גדולות. אנחנו יותר חזקים, אנחנו נחושים, אנחנו מאוחדים כדי להביס את אויבינו, את מבקשי נפשנו. אם נצטרך לעמוד לבד, נעמוד לבד.
Breaking tonight, America appears to be in a standoff with its biggest
There he
military
is.
ally. President Biden is threatening to withhold weapons from Israel, and Israel is now threatening to go it alone in their fight against Hamas. Meantime, the anti-Israel protests on college campuses getting more absurd, with Princeton University students going on a hunger strike, then blaming Princeton because they're hungry. And anti-Israel student protesters at George Washington University getting a big outside boost. Police made 33 arrests at GW, and only 6 of them were actually students. The senior correspondent Dan Springer is live in Seattle with the latest on the college protests. Dan, good evening.
Yeah, Trace, good evening. That ratio of students to non-students is pretty typical. While we have seen so many campus taken down over the last week, others continue to grow and new ones are popping up. Now, here in Seattle at the University of Washington, the anti-Israel protest is still growing. And it got tense a couple of nights ago, and about 3 dozen Antifa showed up, and a few fights broke out. There are close to 200 tents now in the squad, and the university has said nothing about removing them. At Portland State University, several days after protesters occupied the campus library, causing serious damage and closing the school for days, police finally got them out. They made 31 arrests there, only 6 were students. Today at MIT, police appeared to make several arrests during the protest that blocked the parking garage. Police scuffled with protesters who were preventing cars from leaving and coming in. And now we are starting to hear from students who are
fighting back against these campus disruptions.
Hey, you fucking prick, that was a misclick, you fucking asshole.
filed a lawsuit saying the protest, quote, openly glorified Hamas and was a
What did he
cesspool
say?
of hate. The three plaintiffs, who are Jewish, claim the university is not following its own safety guidelines.
Jewish students are not safe on campus. If you talk to students, they're scared, they're terrified, they're unsettled. It's an unsafe environment for them right now on campus.
We also saw students push back at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. A group of fraternity brothers held up the American flag of protesters and taking down and replacing it with a Palestinian flag. At Rutgers, students held a counter-protest where they chanted USA and sang the national anthem. And 300 Jewish students at Columbia and Barnard College signed an open letter which read in part, we connect with Israel not only as our ancestral homeland, but the only place in the modern world where Jews can safely take ownership of their own destiny. Our experiences at Columbia in the last 6 months are a poignant reminder of just that. So Trace definitely started to see more student opposition to these campus protests. Trace?
Indeed, we are. Dan Springer live for us in Seattle. Dan, thank you. Well, the Fox News Internet Common Sense Department is told that Princeton has an anti-Israel student protester on a hunger strike. The goal is to not eat until the school agrees to cut ties with Israel. But now the student and her hunger striking peers are blaming Princeton because they're, quote, starving. So, just so common sense is clear, Princeton is not withholding food. Their bill cards have not been turned off. There's plenty of food. And the students admit the hunger strike is their choice. But they are still blaming Princeton for, quote, physically weakening them. Weakening them? Really? At schools across the country, student protesters look and sound tough, marching and chanting things like Genocide Joe and From the River to the Sea. But apparently the protesters are not all that robust, because they keep demanding things like sleeping pads, knee pads, elbow pads, ponchos, pillows, aquaphor, and lotion, with no sunscreen. Apparently it's an irritant. And protesters who are eating are demanding hot meals, vegan and gluten-free. No packaged food, no nuts, no coffee, no bananas. Not exactly the revolutionaries of yesteryear. When campers want beds and hunger strikers want food, something is missing. Common sense thinks changing the world is one thing. Doing it without sparkling water is not happening. Let's bring in the founder of Less People Forget, Elizabeth Fitco, and former U.S. Senate candidate here in California, Christina Pascucci. Thank you both for coming on. So, the hunger striker says, quoting here, they would love to continue physically weakening us because they can't stand to say no to unjust murder. I mean, give her credit, she's passionate, but that's not how this works. You can't just go in and not eat, and your school is going to stop doing business with Israel.
Sometimes, Trace, there are simple words, and this might be one of those cases. You know, it would be so great and really implement more common sense, the title of this segment, if they would do things like fight absolutism. This whole theory that these kids have that you're with us or you are against us. And what this is causing, it is fanning the flames of hate. It is creating more division. They would be much better served to try to unify students on campus, to have productive conversations with one another, to hear one another out. But of course, that is not what they're doing or even willing to do. They've made that very clear.
Their inside professor at University of Mexico is being sued for allegedly offering concessions to anti-Israel protesters. Here's one of the attorneys for the plaintiffs.
When you're attacking someone's ethnicity, when you're attacking someone's religion, that's hate speech. There's no other way to look at it. The speech that we're talking about here isn't even on the line.
I don't know much about the lawsuit, but the school definitely did offer these people concessions. What do you think about all this?
Honestly, I just think it's incredibly sad. Look, the fact that this has to be brought to a court of law, the fact that we now know that we can't trust our university students or professors, the universities themselves, university leadership, to act appropriately in these situations, and now students are bringing cases like this, which I believe there will be a lot more of, by the way, to the courts to try to, get some kind of clarity for why this happened and make sure it never happens again. It's just incredibly sad here in the United States in 2024. It should never have gotten to this point, and I fear how many more cases will be brought and how much more we're going to learn that happens on these college campuses during these protests.
You talk about the lawsuit against Northwestern, Christina, and the obvious thing is, well, the reason, well, yeah, now we know that Northwestern administrators signed this resolution calling for a boycott of Israel. It says, quoted here, for the last 6 months, the people of Gaza have been victims of one of the most atrocious and monstrous sieges in modern history, as Israel has brutally killed over 33,000 Palestinians. Maybe they should watch the October 7th video that we watched and were horrified by. Maybe they should get a reminder of how this started. And why don't they call for a surrender for Hamas and to release the hostages?
Yeah, exactly. And if people need a reminder about that horrific video that was released by Hamas.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
They were celebrating the number of Jews they had killed. It was not ambiguous. I just back to that lawsuit really quick. I want to mention.
That's twice you did it to him. You must really like him.
Producing their own lawsuit because of what they've seen on campuses across the nation. But one thing is clear, and I do think the president of Northwestern actually does want to do the right thing, and the reason for that is because
I hate these guys.
his great-grandfather in the 1890s was killed in a pogrom in Russia. In the 1930s, his own aunts and uncles were taken to a concentration camp. Some died. The others, guess where they resettled? In Israel. So it's interesting, and I think, the fact that he, of course, wants to deal with this issue more than anyone, but yet still can't. So what does that say about the situation we find ourselves in? All the university presidents need to unite and fight the absolutism that we were talking about earlier.
Never going to happen. That's never in a million years going to happen because they're all on different wavelengths here. And Elizabeth, finally to you, Cal State Sacramento is one of those shining examples because they have now caved to these protesters, and here is somebody from Students for Justice in Palestine at Cal State Sacramento saying this.
We're all very proud of ourselves, but we also have all been reminding ourselves that the struggle continues. They are not allowed to have any investments, direct or indirect, that profit or benefit or support genocide, ethnic cleansing, or any other human rights violations.
So much for Jewish students. These protesters think they have won.
They do. Look, I think there is something that needs to be said to these protesters about what's going on. I don't know if they understand that we're talking about a major university here in the United States of America deciding to pull their investments from our strongest ally in the Middle East, the only other democratic country that we're talking about here that exists in the Middle East, a country that has been our ally for a very long time, that's currently fighting for their own existence after an attack that took 1,200 people from a terrorist group that wants to do to us the same thing that they did in Israel on October 7th. I cannot stress enough how misguided these protesters are. I hope one day they realize they are truly just standing on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, who knows? Elizabeth Pipko, Christina Pascucci, thank you both. Meantime, Fox News is learning the impeachment of Joe Biden is now on the table as House Republicans work on details over the president's threat to cut off aid to Israel. The senior national correspondent Kevin Cork is live for us in D.C. with the latest on this. Kevin, good evening. Trace, Florida Congressman Corey Mills preparing impeachment articles against President Joe Biden over his threat to halt U.S. offensive aid to Israel. Mills accusing Biden of forcing Israel into a, quote, quid pro quo situation by leveraging U.S. dollars against the Israeli government's actions in Gaza. Now, conversely, for his part, the president insists that his decision is frankly a reflection of an ongoing effort to get Israel to keep working toward a ceasefire.
Civilians have been killed in Gaza as a consequence of those bombs and other ways in which they go after population centers. And I made it clear that if they go into Rafah, they haven't gone into Rafah yet, if they go into Rafah, I'm not supplying the weapons that have been used historically to deal with Rafah. They deal with the cities, they deal with that.
That on CNN. However,
So much for the extra guy on the mission.
Pressure campaign, if you want to call it that, is drawing parallels to the Democrats' first impeachment of former President Donald Trump over his handling of aid to Ukraine. Quote, this is Mr. Mills, by the way. The House has no choice but to impeach President quid pro quo Joe Biden. As Vice President, Biden was caught threatening to withhold funding and aid to Ukraine unless they fired the Attorney General investigating Burisma, a company financially benefiting his son.
not to mention a 10% share for the big guy himself. That according to those in the States. Meantime, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says once again that his country will stand alone if it has to in its efforts to beat back and win the war against Hamas traits. Kevin Goldblatt for us in D.C. Kevin, thank you. Let's bring in Rabbi Chaim Metz from Chabad of Bel Air here in Los Angeles and Israeli Special Operations veteran Aaron Cohen. Thank you both for having on set. Great to see you guys out here. I want to play the big flip-flop from Biden, and here's what he went from this to this.
We're not going to supply the weapons and artillery shells used that have been used.
Artillery shells as well.
Yeah, artillery shells. Could be a tragic mistake. Not only that we would cut off military aid to an ally, true ally in the entire region. It's absolutely preposterous. It's just beyond my comprehension. How do you do that?
Preposterous 4 years ago, Aaron, but now it's actually happening, and you think Netanyahu is serious when he says he's going to go alone.
Well, yes, and so here's what I think is important to bring out here. The munitions that Biden is holding back from Israel, this is where it's kind of confusing me, are called JDAMs, and these are joint terminal attack munitions.
Everybody's missing today.
They're precision guided. Right. Why would you hold back joint precision guided munitions from the Israelis in Gaza, which is the most populated type of warfare you can have, right, when the concern is of great risk to civilian casualties? So otherwise Israel is stuck with what we call dummy bombs or dummy munitions, which is what you're seeing shot over from Hezbollah and from Hamas. So holding back these types of selected munitions makes absolutely no sense to me if you want that type of accuracy. Right? And two, the flip-flopping that you're seeing here is a big mistake. He's fearless. He's going to go and he's going to topple Hamas. And the reason why is because it allows Israel to get those hostages back. Yeah, or some kind of closer to a trace.
And it's amazing, they're literally saying we need to fight a precision war of Hamas, but we are withholding precise weapons. After Michael Rappaport, Rabbi, said this about Biden withholding those weapons.
You're not sending weapons to Israel during a war? But I can promise you this right now. Smoking Joe Biden, hit that for Joe Biden, me, Michael Rappaport, I'm not voting for you. This is why I'm voting for Donald Trump. Donald Trump. He's on the
A lot of Democrat Jewish people having second thoughts.
You must understand, a leader of a country must do what's best for the country. And here you have Bibi Netanyahu saying, my survival is more important than anything else. In 1967, when the Jewish people were under attack in the Six-Day War, we were not buying weapons from America. We were buying from around the world. There were no strings attached, and we knocked out the war in 6 days. Israel just now got to the gate to Egypt. They were about to open it up. Egypt was shooting at anybody that was trying to get out. Hamas was trying to shoot at anybody trying to get out. Israel trying to get the civilians out. And you go and you say, we're going to stop doing weapons. You want me to feed them. You want me to take care of them. Right? Mr. Biden, this is not healthy.
And this is congressionally approved money. And this is a victory for Hamas.
It's a huge victory for Hamas because of the signaling that it sends to Iran, the signal that it sends to Hezbollah. What Joe Biden just did was break the first rule of counterterrorism, Tracy. You're going to get some Hebrew again. Which is the first thing taught in the counterterrorist spec ops school. There's no backwards in counterterrorism. And what he just did by publicly sitting down with Burnett on CNN saying, this is what we're going to do. We're going to hold back weapons and munitions. Precision-guided weapons, which makes no sense. It's now signaled to Iran and Hezbollah, hold Israel back again, and not only that, it's going to increase the threats here, Trace.
Yeah, and 30 seconds, Rabbi, it breaks that, whatever happens, weapons go forward, it breaks the trust between Israel and the United States a little bit. Again, very quick time.
He's quoting Hebrew, after the path, after the lay. Whenever a person speaks one way with the mouth and one way with the heart, you cannot trust them.
Yeah.
Mr. Biden, you lost the trust of 80% of the American people. Get back on track. It's not about Michigan. It's not about Dearborn. It's about the world trusting you.
And I will say, I'm starting to pick up a little bit of this, gentlemen. I guess I'm starting to understand what we're talking about here at the start of these things. Aaron, Rabbi, thank you.
It's on a busy day in New York State Supreme Court as Stormy Daniels finished her testimony in Donald Trump's criminal trial, and the former president's defense team once again made their case for a mistrial. Nate Boyle live outside the state Supreme Court in New York City. Nate, good evening.
Good evening, Trey. So yeah, right after Stormy Daniels finished her testimony, lawyers for former President Donald Trump asked for a mistrial, arguing that her testimony had little to nothing to do with the charges that Trump faces in this case. Judge Juan Merchan denied that request, but it wasn't the only request. Trump's lawyers also asked Merchan to amend the gag order so that former President Trump could publicly defend himself from the allegations that Daniels made during her testimony. That was also denied by Judge Merchan, which prompted Trump to say this while leaving the courthouse tonight.
I don't think we have to do any extra explaining on how that will work because this judge is corrupt. He's a corrupt judge.
Stormy Daniels took a shot at Trump tonight on X, Trace, posting, quote, "Real men respond to testimony by being sworn in and taking the stand in court. Oh, wait, never mind. Now, Trump maintains he plans on testifying. His lawyers are also challenging the court's gag order at the appellate level. Today in court, though, Trace, Daniels insisted that she never extorted Trump, saying the money was just a bonus. She was more focused on exposing the truth. But instead of having it published, she took $130,000 from Michael Cohen to stay quiet. Daniels said today that she did that for her safety. Daniels also told the court that she claimed she could speak to dead people and that she lived in a house that was haunted. Daniels later said those claims were debunked. Tonight, prosecutors also revealed, Trace, that former Playboy model Karen McDougal will not testify in the trial, as Trump's former White House assistant Madeleine Westerhout is set to resume her testimony tomorrow. She told the court that she does not believe Trump is being treated fairly in this case. Now, tonight, Judge Merchan also said that the trial is on schedule or possibly a little bit ahead of schedule. It was expected to take between 6 and 8 weeks. Right now, we are nearing the end of week number 4. Trace?
Dave Floyd, live for us in New York. Dave, thank you. Let's bring in Cal Berkeley Law Professor and former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo. Stormy Daniels' testimony is done. It was kind of a mess. Did she help or hurt the former president, John?
I think it was devastating to the former president in this respect. The prosecution doesn't really have a good case on the law. In fact, we've yet to hear any facts that have to go to campaign finance and accounting and bookkeeping mistakes or cover-ups. Instead, what the prosecution is doing is they're dragging Trump through the mud. They're putting on a vivid case. It's like reality TV for the jury so that they're going to think Donald Trump is a bad man and we should just convict him of something. And that, Stormy Daniels, fit in perfectly with that kind of strategy. It's not what prosecutors are supposed to do. We're not supposed to prosecute the man. We're supposed to prosecute the crime.
Yeah, it all really comes down to Michael Cohen's testimony coming up, right, John?
That's the other thing. There's no testimony that links Stormy Daniels ever talking to Donald Trump about this non-disclosure agreement, about the payment. It really comes down to Michael Cohen. He is allegedly, in the prosecution eyes, the go-between, the guy who conspired with Trump to violate federal campaign law. The problem is Michael Cohen is a seriously flawed witness, which is why the Justice Department and the FEC didn't go forward with this case. They don't want to rely on him.
Now, lastly, I just want to note that federal gun charges against Hunter Biden today were not dismissed. Looks like a trial early next month. Is he in jeopardy, John?
Yes, he's in serious trouble. Of course, remember, he thought he could get away with a sweetheart plea deal before a friendly judge. Instead, this judge did the right thing and asked questions about the plea bargain. If Hunter's smart and his lawyer's smart, he should not go to trial. He should plead, even if it means jail time, because the last thing he wants during a campaign is to remind everybody about the problems the president has and the president's son.
John Yoo, great to see you as always. Thank you, my friend. Coming up, a bold, almost bizarre new twist in a blue city struggling to deal with President Biden's illegal immigration crisis. The illegal immigrants are now taking a page from college protesters and making demands. Wait until you hear what they want. And later tonight, Capitol Ohio, Republican Senator J.D. Vance now pushing legislation to make universities ineligible for federal funding. An anti-Israel encampment are not taken down immediately. Good idea, bad idea, loose funding. If they stay up, let us know. X and Instagram at Trace Gallagher. We will read your responses coming up in the nightcap. We're coming right now.
Guys, listen up. Want to try the strongest FDA-approved ED meds available? If appropriate, get maximum strength generic Viagra prescribed online at 95% off. Just $2 per tablet at PressMD.com.
I hate those guys.
That lets you find homes with assumable mortgages, so you could take over the seller's mortgage at a lower interest rate.
Don't all have to do that?
Not really. Go to realty.com to learn more. After 30 years of research, great scientists have discovered the key factors that can cause mental decline and memory issues. Introducing NeuroQ, the breakthrough brain supplement that can help your memory, focus, and concentration to improve the quality of your life every day. NeuroQ is the result of years of research studying the precise ingredients your brain needs to perform better. In an internal study, 4 out of 5 NeuroQ users saw significant improvement in just 30 days.
I feel like it helps with my mental clarity and focus and getting things done, as well as my memory and recall.
Call or go online now to find out how you can try NeuroQ for $49.95. Plus, get free shipping. Act now, and you'll also receive NeuroQ's fast-dissolving Sleep Now oral strips that boost brain recovery while you sleep.
Go to trynq.com or call 1-800-721-2604. That's 1-800-721-2604. Order now.
As the candidates race toward the White House, America hopes for a clean and fair election. The people understand what that means. It's why my team created the Kids Guide to the Presidential Election. As your kids read it, they'll discover how elections are won and how to ensure that every legal vote is counted and what happens when they're not. All future voters need this guide, and you can have it for free. To order, visit freeelectionguide.com. That's freeelectionguide.com.
When you buy or sell your car exactly how you want with car gurus, you might begin to wonder, what if you could do things your way all the time? Some dreams do come true. Get your car your way. Get it with gurus.
A heart attack? Do they have life insurance?
No,
But we have life insurance. John,
I'm trying to find something we can afford.
Fortunately, in only a few minutes, SelectQuote found John a $500,000 policy for only $29 a month, and his wife Ann a $500,000 policy for only $21 a month. Go to SelectQuote.com now and get the insurance your family needs
At a price you can afford. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
I'm going to tell you about a really simple thing you can do for your heart. This is Super Beats, and I swear by it.
Super Beats is America's #1 doctor, pharmacist, and cardiologist recommended brand for heart health support with clinically studied grapeseed extract to help promote normal blood pressure, nearly 2 times more effectively than diet and exercise alone.
So do something good for your heart and your energy. Who loves Super Beats?
Get a free month supply on all bundles at freesuperbeats.com. Use discount code FOX and get an extra 20% off.
Rebuilding the Francis Scott Key Bridge. From the timeline to the costs and the bipartisan support needed, Governor Westmore and Congressman Andy Harris detailed their common ground on Special Report.
This is all that. Many times first, so I'm trying to write you guys on. How's it going? Crazy. Hi. How old is that? It's very, yeah. They've always felt like a stranger around me. It makes me feel like they're not there yet.
The alcohol builds a wall.
Our cooperation has proven to be a boon to the resistance.
Know this. It's never too early or too late to ask for help drinking problem. Alcoholism. There is a way out. Patience. And that club courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Well, an update tonight on what appears to be a top election issue this year, the illegal immigration crisis. And in Denver, a tech community is refusing to pack up and move until the mayor meets their 13 demands. Chandler Painter is live with what's on the list. Chandler, good evening.
Hey, Trace, those migrants insisted they would not leave their encampment until the city met their demands, and the city complied, reaching an agreement this afternoon. The migrants' demands were laid out in a document sent to the Denver mayor and included services like fresh, culturally appropriate food instead of pre-prepared meals, free immigration lawyers, shower access without time limit, and no police monitoring 24/7, writing "we're not criminals and won't be treated as such." A spokesperson for the Denver Human Services said the government was willing to work on a compromise after migrants rejected the offer of a 72-hour stay in a city-funded shelter. Now they will receive a 7-day stay at a hotel with aggressive case management. Meanwhile, in El Paso, a judge has dismissed more than 200 cases against migrants charged with rioting at the border on March 21st, as seen in this New York Post video. The Texas judge said he lacked jurisdiction due to the DA failing to provide the required temporary transfer orders, but District Attorney Bill Hicks disagrees and plans to appeal. Watch.
It does not matter a person's immigration status. It does not matter if they are from this country or not. If you break the laws of the state of Texas, in particular in these riot cases, if you destroy property and you endanger lives, you will be held accountable.
Also making headlines, officials at the state and federal level wrapping up arrests of suspected child sex offenders who crossed the border illegally. In Florida, a Guatemalan illegal immigrant who was caught at the border in January and released into the U.S. with a 2027 court date has now been arrested for allegedly kidnapping an 11-year-old girl from in front of her home, pulling her into a van, and then sexually assaulting her. Now, in a statement today, the Biden administration maintained only Congress can fix the broken immigration system while announcing a new rule that would reject some migrants more rapidly from asylum earlier in the screening process. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said in a statement that the proposed rule will more quickly identify and remove those individuals who present a security risk and have no legal basis to remain here. But House Homeland Security Committee Chair Mark Green responded that this rule, quote, appears to be an unserious, politically motivated attempt to address a significant problem the Biden administration itself created. Nothing will change, he said. And finally, Trace, in Arizona tomorrow, residents impacted by the border crisis will be gathering at a House Judiciary Committee field hearing to share the impact of Biden's border security and immigration policies on their state. Back to you.
Chandler Painter live for us in New York. Chandler, thank you. Let's bring in Axiom Strategies, Aaron Parady, and former White House Deputy Strategic Communications Director Roman Garabi. Thank you for coming on. Nice to see that the illegal immigrants, Aaron, are getting their wish list, like the protesters are getting their wish list, right? I want to move on because the Democrats, remember when they tried to blame Republicans for defunding police and the country just kind of laughed? Well, now Chuck Schumer is trying to blame Republicans for the immigration crisis.
Republicans are going on and on and on about the border, but facts are stubborn things. When Americans ask this year who is to blame for the continued mess at the border, they should listen to the words that came from Donald Trump himself. He said, "Please, blame it on me." That's what Trump said.
I love that facts are a stubborn thing. Is he joking, Aaron? Come on.
Unfortunately, Chuck Schumer and Democrats are not joking here. They believe that they can gaslight the American people into believing that the border crisis that has worsened and become unbelievable under Joe Biden
is somehow now the fault of Republicans. Let's remember, Joe Biden is the Democrat at the helm in the White House. And so while this might be an attempt to have a masterclass in gaslighting, the facts are stubborn things. With the executive actions that Joe Biden undid that President Trump had done, that alone has worsened this. And then you see the Biden administration take steps to try and malign the brave border agents who stand there and say that they attacked migrants previously. It's no wonder that this has gotten worse. And this is the thing that everybody needs to remember. The immigration system in the United States has needed an overhaul for quite some time. Democrats and Republicans really should put the politics aside on this, get together and get serious, because it's just becoming dangerous for the United States.
Right. And listen, a lot of the Democrats, the swing state Democrats, are not buying this whole Republicans law, because they sent a letter to President Biden that reads in part, quoting here, "We write to you to respectfully request that you and your administration immediately take further action to restore order at the southern border and fix our broken immigration system." You know why they're doing that, Roma? Because they're scared and they know this is going to be a big-time election issue.
Yeah, this is a huge problem for them, Trace. I mean, the Democrats have to take real responsibility for what we're seeing at the southern border, and instead, like you just heard Chuck Schumer do, they're trying to point the finger at Trump. So at the end of the day, you know, the American people are going to be footing the bill for these illegal immigrants that are coming into the country, and they don't want to be responsible for that when it comes to the polls in November. We know that crime is going up because of all of these migrants, and on top of it, they're demanding housing, food, healthcare, credit card, cell phones, you name it. They want it, and they want it for free.
And getting it, yeah, that's the whole thing. Whoopi Goldberg, meantime, back to the Trump trial, had this brilliant thing to say about the trial. Watch this.
You know, I just think if you didn't do it, why are you in the court? You brought this on yourself. You did this to you. Nobody did this to you. You told the untruth. You took stuff. This is on you. This isn't them. It isn't the judge. This is yours.
Yeah, forget about due process and lawfare and all that stuff. You're in court. I mean, clearly you did it. Aaron?
Yeah, apparently it's unfortunate to see that Whoopi Goldberg forgot that the presumption of innocence is a real thing in the court system in the United States. And instead, what you see from Democrats and unfortunately comedians and the like in the liberal media is that they stand there and they try to say that he's automatically guilty just because he's in court, just because there are these trumped-up charges against him. And let's say the facts today, Donald Trump is innocent. That is at this point, and until the courts or any jury decides otherwise, what Whoopi Goldberg said is completely and factually inaccurate.
And it's difficult to crime, and I haven't been pointed out the crime yet. Lastly, Roma, do you think the trial is hurting or helping, Trump politically?
Well, it's certainly not hurting him. His poll numbers are going up every single time there's a so-called scandal in one of these trials. You know, they really are just faking it until they make it. The problem is they're losing. They're not going to make it to the finish line. And so you kind of have to laugh at this, because at the end of the day, those of us, like myself, who have been working with President Trump since 2016, are used to the slander coming from the press. We're used to things like this from Whoopi Goldberg, from Stormy Daniels. You know, they all like to see him behind bars, and they've said it repeatedly. So believe someone when they tell you the truth. And it's not going to change the fact that President Trump will not stop fighting for the forgotten American, no matter how many trials they pull him into. He will find a way to get on the road and talk to the voters.
For the Grammy, Eric Brady, Peg Vogue, anytime the Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter behind Flag for Fighting, is standing up for Israel with a performance in Tel Aviv. Recently, an unapologetic pro-Israel speech at his alma mater, UCLA. John Ondrasik joins us live on SendText, plus a Southwest plane. Passengers notice a stowaway in a very peculiar place, and an NYPD officer proving he is not afraid of heights. The day's best viral videos coming up. Anytime 8:36 on the West Coast, there's a Fox News and Night trip across America. Live look, Salt Lake City, Utah, where local legend says there are monsters in the Great Salt Lake. Nashville, Tennessee, where Elvis recorded more than 200 of his songs. And finally, Orlando, Florida, where they get about 233 days of sunshine a year. Heading for the Sunshine State. If you can't join us live, don't forget to set your DVR. Watch us anytime. We're coming right back with John Ondrasik. You want to see this?
Here we go.
Fast Signs. Create factory-grade visual solutions to perfect your process. Fast Signs. Make your statement.
It's Kubota Orange Days. Shop the year's biggest selection of Kubota equipment. And get 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. Find your nearest dealer at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
For years, I've been sharing how Crepe Erase has helped my skin look smoother, firmer, and younger. And now the system I've loved for almost a decade is even better.
Now you can transform your skin from this to this with new Crepe Erase Ultra. Crepe Erase really works. That's why real women have given it thousands of rave reviews. It's the celebrity secret to younger and sexier looking skin.
Crepe Erase Ultra has taken years off my skin. The results have been magnificent.
And now, new and improved Crepe Erase Ultra is the best system ever.
It's clinically shown to instantly improve the look of dry, crepey skin.
Crepe Erase Ultra is something I recommend to my patients because it works.
And now there's more big news from Crepe Erase.
Introducing the Ultra Smoothing Neck Repair, an all-new breakthrough solution for hard-to-treat skin on your neck. With design results you have to see to believe. And you can get it today as a free gift with your order.
And this might literally be the fountain of youth for the neck. The results are incredible.
Today, you can get the new Crepe Erase Ultra system for only $49.95. And we'll give you the Ultra Smoothing Neck Repair for free.
And we'll also give you this customer favorite, the luxurious 4-in-1 light smoothing capsules for your face. Free.
That little capsule is a power pack.
And to make this our best offer ever, when you order today, we're going to double your free gift, a $76 value.
There's never been a better time to try Crepe Erase. Get all this, a $143 value for only $49.95. Plus free shipping and a 60-day money-back guarantee.
If you're seeing the signs of crepey skin, don't wait. Now you can do something about it, and your results? Or your money back.
This is a limited time offer that will not last.
Call 1-800-915-8121 or go to CrepeEraseUltra.com. Order right now.
Struggling with low credit or no credit? You need a lift. We're Credit Up by 5-Star Bank. The best there is in credit building. Our Credit Builder app offers a quick, easy way to get the credit you need really fast.
Got a credit card. You got a rate on how you talk with you. Agree. Got it.
Real help.
You could rent a house for our family.
You needed to improve our credit.
Real time.
Start our own business, and I love that we can keep track of our credit on the go.
Over 100
Advent's locator is down and our credit line is active.
Credit Up is the way up. With no fees, lower interest rates, and paid in the USA.
I've seen firsthand how bad credit, like hard, as well as starting Credit Up to help you build a better life.
Go to CreditUpBuilder.com to start building your credit up. CreditUpBuilder.com. We do the work. You get the credit.
Hi, I'm Tony Hawk, and like many of you, I take a statin to reduce cholesterol. But statins can also deplete CoQ10 levels. That's why my doctor recommended Qunol CoQ10. Qunol has the #1 cardiologist recommended form of CoQ10. Qunol, the brand I trust.
Only Purple's Gel Flex Grid passes the raw egg test. No other mattress cradles your body and simultaneously supports your spine. Every home doesn't come close. Get your best sleep guaranteed. Save up to $800 during our Memorial Day sale. Visit purple.com or a store near you.
Healthy blood pressure and CoQ10 support? It's super convenient thanks to the ingredients in Super Beets. And now new Super Beets Advanced Heart Chews with a clinically researched dose of CoQ10. Plus the grapeseed extract you love for 2-in-1 healthy blood pressure support. Why take CoQ10 separately when you can enjoy twice the benefits and the added power of CoQ10? The choice is simple. We're Super Beets, the #1 cardiologist recommended beet brand for heart health support. Get a free month supply on all bundles at trysuperbeets.com.
T-Mobile's 5G network connects 100,000 Delta employees, so they can make every customer feel like they arrived before they left the ground. This is how business goes further with T-Mobile for Business.
Life insurance is too important to put off another day. That's why Select Quote makes getting coverage you need easy. Now get up to a $2 million policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage.
Visit SelectQuote.com now.
entertainment industry have the courage to speak up and speak out in support of Israel in the wake of Hamas October 7th terrorist attacks. One of the few, you see him on the right-hand side of the screen, the Grammy-nominated artist John Ondrasik, also known as Five for Fighting, joins us live here. That was riveting. We talk about hostage square. I want to begin, though, John, because there's something in Europe. It's called Eurovision Song Contest, the equivalent of American Idol here. And there is a 20-year-old. Her name is Eden Golan, right? And she is a great performer. And yet she is being forced, maybe being pushed out. She keeps going. And I want to play some video of her singing, and you'll hear the booing, and you'll hear some of this. This is what she has to go through to perform in this contest. And if you let the tape go, you would hear the boos afterward. It's amazing what she's going through, but she is persevering, John. And you have said this is one of those things where why are more people not speaking out about this?
Trace, just today, Eden Golan, Jewish Israeli singer, one of my fellow artists, could not leave her hotel because it was surrounded by an anti-Semitic mob. They drive her around in armored cars. This is 2024, right?
We're sure it's old.
Yeah, not 1938, right? You'd think every singer, artist, band, whatever your political view, would be condemning this from the mountaintops, be screaming that this is not acceptable. You remember, of course, the concert for New York, right? Of course, every artist, every iconic artist came to New York City after 9/11, condemned Osama bin Laden, sang for freedom, sang for New York City. Where are those artists? Where are those artists now? After October 7th, it has been deathly silent. I am calling on my fellow artists, Bono, Springsteen, Streisand, join me. Stand with this incredibly heroic woman. Don't let her do this alone. We need to stand with her, stand beside her, and tell her she's not alone.
So you went to Israel, you went to hostage square, you met with some of the families. I want to play you singing some of your song and speaking over there. Watch this.
It's an honor to sing this with you. The first lyric of this song is, "This is a time for choosing." And it is, for individuals, for nations. It really is good versus evil. In Israel, I choose you. This is a time for choosing. This is a time to.
So compelling. It must have changed you, John. And did it change your perspective and the people that you met with?
You know, it reminded me of the concert in New York. Yeah, thinking for people in pain. Literally having people 10 feet from me holding signs of their loved one that was still hostage. To talk to hostage families just breaks your heart, right? I feel like crying right now, but I was glad I went because they feel abandoned, Chris. They feel abandoned. They feel abandoned by our government. They look at the mobs on campuses, but I was there to tell them the vast majority of Americans stand. They love you. They pray for you. They pray for the hostages to come home every night. So, you know, that alone, I think, was the reason for me to go. And I have that changed. I have.
It's amazing. I want to play this from UCLA because you went to UCLA, which is your alma mater, and you have this to say.
Many of the protesters, many of the kids on these camps, because I think in their minds, they think they're doing the right thing. Because they have been misled. They've fallen under the spell of evil people who are indoctrinated. It's important for organizations and institutions like UCLA to have dialogue on campus and have debates.
It is important for dialogue and debate. Do you still believe they believe they're doing the right thing?
I think some of them do. Yeah. I still have John Wooden's Pyramid of Success on my wall, right? And I asked a simple question to Gene Block, the chancellor of UCLA. If 1,200 Muslims were slaughtered on October 7th, if there were 250 Muslim hostages, Muslim American hostages, and an encampment at UCLA let my professors set up an illegal encampment calling for the death of Muslims, assaulting Muslim students, having wristbands where you can't pass unless you're Muslim. Would Gene Block in UCLA tolerate that? Would the board appease that? Would the faculty participate in that? They all need to resign. Of course they won't. But the shame on UCLA, the moral stain, will never be erased.
Yeah. While you're here, I just want to put this up on the screen. We have some breaking news. This is coming out of D.C. because there's a heavy police presence. And tell me specifically where this is again, Tracy. This is the march in D.C., right? And started at George Washington University, but now we're seeing a very heavy police presence there. And this has kind of gone on night after night. It's very close to the White House. These people are about to be arrested. Many apparently have been arrested. We don't have a correspondent on scene or having one go to the scene, but these are kinds of images that we have seen night after night as we look at what's happening around the country, and it kind of jives with what John is saying there. We are going to continue looking at this and bringing the breaking news. We're going to come back in a few minutes, and we'll wrap up with more on this. John, thank you.
Thank you, Trace.
Americans turn to RVing in record numbers as they pursue the spirit of freedom and travel exploration.
The RV community is stronger than ever as family and friends seek quality time together. Camping World has been a part of the American dream since 1966. Shop over 6,000 RVs for less than $200 a month, only at Camping World.
You know, I spend a lot of time thinking about dirt at 3 in the morning. And what people don't know is that not all dirt is the same. You need dirt with the right kind of nutrients. Look at this new organic soil from Miracle Grow.
Everybody should have it. It worked great for us.
This is as good as gold in any garden. If people only knew that it really is about the dirt.
You're a dirt nerd.
Huge dirt nerd. I'm proud of it.
After 30 years of research, brain scientists have discovered the key factors that can cause mental decline and memory issues. Introducing NeuroQ, the breakthrough brain supplement that can help your memory, focus, and concentration to improve the quality of your life every day.
NeuroQ is the result of years of research studying the precise nutrients your brain needs to perform better.
In an internal study, 4 out of 5 NeuroQ users saw significant improvement in just 30 days.
I feel like it helps with my mental clarity and focus and getting things done, as well as my memory and recall.
Call or go online now and find out how you can try NeuroQ for $49.95. Plus, get free shipping. Act now and you'll also receive NeuroQ's fast-dissolving Sleep Now oral strips to boost brain recovery while you sleep.
Go to trynq.com or call 1-800-721-2604. That's 1-800-721-2604. Order now.
Another year of yo-yo dieting? Not this year. Hit reset. I saw the results immediately. I feel amazing. Soto Bello is not a bad diet or boot camp workout. It's a proven way to remove stubborn body fat permanently and in just one visit. I don't want tears. Save $250 off instantly. Call now or go to sotobello.com.
For muscle cramps and spasms, what's your move? The Hercules? Make the move to TheraWorks for fast muscle relief. Safe, gentle, and absorbs quickly for relief. TheraWorks works. Try TheraWorks and get back at it.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance and I save hundreds. That's great. You know, I've been telling everyone. Damn it! How many people did you tell? Only paid for what you need.
Ellie, Harris, and David are taking on the hot topics with powerful perspective and smart insight you'll only get on Outnumbered, weekdays at 12 on Fox News Channel.
Guys, listen up. Want to try the strongest FDA-approved ED medicine?
Okay. Hey, well, let's see. Love you guys. Like grabbing my phone. Thanks for me.
Thank you.
Good copy. Moving on target.
What?
Smoking prevents reactions out of day concentration. A message from Makiana.
We're green to go.
I know exactly what's going on. comes to drugs, college grade is too much for kids.
Okay, I'm over.
Drugs are out there. Well, my team feel free to say no around other kids. I didn't live drug-free when I was younger. And I admit that to my kids. Drugs are wrong, but how can I feel free to talk about it with my kids?
Questions about drugs and kids? What you want to call real-time support.
Kevin Court, Shandy Painter, Christina Pascucci, Aaron Cohen, and John Yu. Tonight's topic, it's all fun and games. Republican Senator J.D. Vance introducing legislation in response to campus protests which could render universities ineligible for federal assistance if they don't remove these pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel encampments. Should schools lose federal aid if they don't remove them? Kevin Court.
I think it's a pretty decent argument because if you are impeding the educational opportunity of your fellow students, something has to give.
Yeah, Aaron Cohen.
Terrorism, incitement, and rhetoric, mass history speech, that is, in my opinion, I'm a lawyer, you're crossing the line.
Yeah, Christina Pascucci.
Especially during finals when they're impeding their ability to study for finals, to get those grades they worked so hard for during their entire school year. So I don't think it's as binary. It should funding be removed. I need more information, but that started to be a really good idea.
And I think the bottom line here really is, as Kevin says it right, is listen, if you are stopping other students from going to school, taking away their rights, you can't do that. John Yu.
I deplore the anti-Semitism of the protests, but I worry when the federal government tells us what speech to allow or not. So I take all the federal funds and give an air ticket to all the protesters and send them to an Arab country and see if they can carry out their protest there.
Good one. Shandy Painter.
Yeah, I'm like my colleagues. In general, I think it sounds reasonable to hold universities accountable for the illegal activities they allow to persist on campus.
Yeah, the poll says should universities lose federal aid? Instagram and X both equal 97% say yep, take it away. Kelly Randall absolutely why should my tax money go to these American hating schools who have enabled liberal professors to poison the minds of their students and not cut the funding? Stephanie, yes. And for all our newcomers now living here, I'll translate. See, Michael Rain, all universities should lose federal aid. Steve Duffy, it's time to rein in these universities who seem to think the students can run the campus. And Jason Smith says, obvious, these people are too stupid and personally don't like paying for stupid. Thank you for watching America's Late News. Fox News at Night. I'm Trace Gallagher in Los Angeles. We will see you right back here for the Friday night version of Fox News at Night. Good night.
When we say it'll be on time,
Oh.
they expect it to be on time.
Shipping.
You would have had him too.
Expectations with reliable ground shipping.
Expected.
USPS ground advantage.
Skating for over 45 years has taken a toll on my body. I take Cunol turmeric because it helps with healthy joints and inflammation support. Why Cunol? It has superior absorption compared to regular turmeric. Cunol, the brand I trust.
Everyday chaos. This Mother's Day, I want to take it in stride with comfortable stories. With muddy kids on the floor, to 30 camera members in the car. Smoky tires testing out the all-purpose. Epic food that's contained by the secret and a company to secure her food just like that. Made pounds life easy. Order these American-made products from get@W2.com. Happy Mother's Day on Mother's Day.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem-solution, one-product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillows,
Excellent.
$25. And for the first time ever,
I like those missions.
you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack discount, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all the fees and pack, any size, any lock level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or from the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over, your entire order ships absolutely free.
Hi, Grandma. I play base bunted. Oh, that's great.
What position did you play?
First base. That's a big crowd that you play. But in our hearing, it wouldn't allow us to use a regular phone. It made us feel isolated.
It became difficult to communicate with our friends.
Clear captions was an easy solution for us.
Clear Captions provides captions on a phone like captioning on your TV, so you can see what the caller is saying live as they say it.
Making it easy to understand and respond immediately.
There is no insurance or Medicare required. Clear Captions service is provided at no cost to you through a federally funded program. We deliver, install, and train you on how to use your phone, all at no cost to you.
Give your loved ones the independence and connection they deserve.
Call now to see if you can get a Clear Captions phone at no cost
That's a
to
good
you.
one.
Call 1-800-979-0270. That's 1-800-979-0270.
With Cargo's, filter millions of
Save
listings
this.
to land the perfect deal. If only you could do things your way all the time. Imagine that. Get it with Guru.
We had to take out our old gas heating. That was a huge project. I was so overwhelmed as I started contacting people offering to work with people that knew what they were doing. It was a game changer.
These ones are good too.
Today at Anti.com.
Now, ADT professionally installs Google Nest products.
You're all set. The system issue.
When the most trusted name in home security adds the intelligence of Google, you have a home with no worries. Brought to you by ADT.
You have to feel good. When you feel good, you look good. When you look good, things happen. My name's Gary. I exercise almost every day. I'm more active than the average 70. I started taking balance, and I feel the benefits. It's been a little bit of a revolutionary moment. I stand behind the product. I stand behind it. I say, balance and nature. It's a great product for me.
Get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. Call or go to balanceandnature.com and use discount code FOXNEWS.
47. Aneurysm. Did he have life insurance? Do you? Oh, gotta get on it. Check out SelectQuote. Trust me, for peace of mind, it's worth it.
Life insurance is too important to put off another day. That's why SelectQuote makes getting coverage you need easy. For less than $1 a day. Now get up to a $2 million policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage.
Visit SelectQuote.com. We shop, you say. If you're shopping for a home, Realtor.com's Real Commute tool lets you find homes close to work, school, even grandma's house.
Don't all apps do that?
Not really. Trust the #1 app real estate professionals trust.
Hello everyone, I'm Dana Marino along with Jesse Hero, Richard Fowler, Jesse Waters, and Greg Gutfeld. It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Vibe. At any moment after another stormy day in the courtroom. Just moments ago, the judge denying his lawyer's motion to modify the gag order.
I just gotta level up these guys.
And right now, his team is arguing for the judge to declare a mistrial. It comes as Stormy Daniels wrapped up over 7 hours on the stand. Trump's lawyers hammering away at Stormy's credibility, poking holes in her story, and grilling her about attempts to make money off of her alleged affair with Trump. The defense showing off this $40 saint of indictments, devotional candle they claim she was selling on her website. It shows Daniels draped in a Christ-like robe. Stormy not denying she made bank, admitting she has to pay her legal bills to the tune of $500,000 that she owes to the former president. Then Stormy got supernatural, a bizarre moment when the defense grilled Daniels' work as paranormal investigator, asking about a show where she said she can talk to dead people and lived in a house she believed to be haunted, but it turned out to just be a giant pump. The other big news today, the prosecution telling Trump's lawyers that they do not plan to call Karen McDougal to the witness stand. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton, she's got to weigh in on Trump's legal drama while giving therapy sessions to Morning Show.
But I'd like to call the part of this segment Therapy with Hillary. What do you say to people when they ask you about the former president, these trials and these delays and the fear that they feel?
about the upcoming election?
I'm happy to go to therapy with you anytime because clearly the pressure and the stress on our system, our country, our constitution, our future is so intense.
All right, let's get it. I'm going in here around the table. Guys who are down there at the courthouse today. Tell us what you saw, what you think tonight.
It was fascinating being down there. You see Stormy Daniels and, Lawrence O'Donnell.
Just guys, if you could hold on for just 1 second, because the former president is about to make some remarks. That report today, as he walks up to the microphone, I will turn it over to him.
Thank you very much. Everybody saw what happened today. I don't think we have to do anything explaining how to work because this judge is corrupt. He's a corrupt judge. This judge, in one case, voting was a disgrace. Everybody saw what happened today. He's a corrupt judge and he's totally conflicted. And I got to get back on the campaign trail. I'm not supposed to be here. We are so innocent. There's never been anything like it. We, every single house, legal house, I'm innocent. I'm being held in this court with a corrupt judge who's totally conflicted. Take a look at his conflict. It's a disgrace. To the city of New York, to the state of New York, thank you very much.
Very strong comment coming from the former president as the motion to declare the trial.
Let's definitely save this one.
Other things. Get back to you, Judge.
The motion for mistrial was denied. They apparently re-upped the motion.
We'll catch you guys next time, all right? Peace out.
Stormy Daniels, and they also are questioning the gag order yet again. Since Stormy Daniels has already testified she's been trashing him, why shouldn't he be able to respond to what she said since she's no longer